Hey, writers. So I'd like you to think of a specific occasion or occasions when a teacher has responded to you in some way about your writing. And I just want you to kind of think about how that made you feel and what information you took away from that experience. For instance, I remember um, when I got a paperback and it had red pen all over it and circles around it and things crossed out. Um, and I remember that experience vividly, and actually with more than one. I'm also remembering another time when um, I worked really, really hard on a paper and it was really personal, and I put a lot of my own emotion and effort as well as research into it. And I got back a rubric that just kind of had some different parts on it highlighted, nothing else. Um, so I suppose what I want you to think about is whenever you respond to students' writing, whether it's with a pen or whether it's with words or whether it's through a rubric or however, you are giving students powerful messages about what is important in writing. Okay. For instance, I remember that red pen incident, um, and really, basically, what the teacher was telling me was that spelling is important, and that punctuation is important, and that grammar is important, and that was all that was important. So that those were the messages that I was getting from that feedback from the teacher. And similarly, when I got that feedback from the rubric, it was very much like telling me that the content of that writing was not important. So, it's really, really important to think carefully about how you respond to students' writing. And similarly, you can construct students' identities as writers through the feedback that you give them. So you can help them to feel like good writers or developing writers or struggling writers. You your feedback can position them in certain ways, which can be very helpful or very harmful, very damaging, right? I'm sure that you were all able to think of instances of teacher feedback that have not helped your identity as a writer, that may have had left long-term damage. And I think this is particularly important to remember in terms of students who are linguistically, culturally, racially, their identities are different from the white middle class norms that are in school, right? And if you're not careful, you might very well be telling these students that their writing is a problem, but also you might be positioning themselves as problems, right? Their language is a problem, their culture is a problem, their racial identities as problems. So yeah, this is a huge topic, right? This is a huge issue that we all really need to think very, very carefully about as teachers. And I continue to have to reflect on the ways in which I respond to students' writing, And I'm hoping, I'm really getting the sense from you all as writers and as future teachers of writers, that you consider these issues as vital. So in this module, we're just going to begin to explore some of the ways that you might respond to students' writing, and some of the considerations to think about when responding to students' writing. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we've all had those experiences with teachers, and as you approach this work, I want you to remember we have a great deal of power as teachers, and we want to really ensure that we are using that power in ways that help students, and it's certainly not in ways that harm students. So we'll be thinking really in terms of responding to students' writing in asset-based ways, and really paying attention to students' social, cultural, linguistic, racial identities as you respond to their writing, and as you help them to construct writing identities that give them power and agency, that really kind of empower them. So welcome to the module, and I look forward to reading your responses and your writing, and wish you all the best.